I have 1 hour. 1 hour. 1 hour is what I have. Because my parents are coming into town. I'm going to go meet them in a steakhouse. I must make progress every day. Hi, I'm Eric. I'm making a game. It's called The God Killer. In it, the main character is in conflict with God. Perhaps this main character is the God Killer. People certainly think she is, but I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give away the outcome of this whole story that the game advances. Let me show you what I've been up to. Let me show you. What do I got? Show us what you got. Yes. Okay. Let us set this to maximize on play because that makes a cooler demo. I created a little while back a animation tool for hand gestures. I have successfully integrated it into the game. So I'm going to show that. Hitting the play button. Takes a long time these days to get it playing, especially while I'm broadcasting. But play we shall. Spinny. Okay, so there's dialogue audio. I recorded one line kind of properly, and it's not right at the beginning of the game, so I have to walk in a little ways to get to the place where the actual recorded dialogue will play. So when you start out this game, you're controlling this character here, the redheaded lady who's down on the ground. She's really tiny. So I move a little bit, and that starts off the dialogue. So those two hands are going to be talking. I will need to add audio and gestures to the hands in this stage, or I should say this part of the level. But if I let this dialogue play past a little bit, then I can go to the place where I actually have an example of the dialogue playing along with hand gestures. Right now you can see the other parts of the animation, which are that the hands will turn towards the character that you're controlling, and they'll move to pre-assigned hand stages, I call them. These stages are places where they look okay when they have room to move, basically, and to perform. Okay, so let's go a little bit further. Also, I'm going to call your attention to something else because it plays into my session goal. So, as the character walks up and down steps, notes play. Now, those notes are not just any notes. They are selected to match a musical key. Meaning that if music is playing in a certain key, those sound effects will harmonize with the music that's playing. It's a different sound effect. When I hold down the shift key, seek rays go out to show where I can fling to, and when I move in that direction with the fling command, it plays that trombone noise. That's also a note that's selected in a certain musical key. I can set the musical key programmatically during the game to any of the 12 keys in the circle of fifths, or the major. Anyways, that whole Western music harmonizing set of keys. So I'll get to why that's important in a second. Let me demo the feature of the dialogue and hand animation. Here it comes. Watch the hands.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
Okay, so the hand gestures were synchronized with the audio. I actually noticed them off in a few places, and that bothered me slightly, but I'm going to chalk it up to a broadcasting port, because I've only seen it screw up like that while I was broadcasting, but there's issues with frame rate and stuff like that. Okay, so back to the music. By the way, the format of these sessions is always the same. I demo at the beginning, then I get into like a live coding session. I have the ability to change the key. Let me change the key. Can I do that while I'm full screen? I don't think I've ever been successful in getting the scene view to work while playing, because it comes up in this limited view when I have it maximized. What if I try maximizing the scene view? See if that... No, that doesn't really make anything better. I'm sure there's a way to do this, but it's probably not the thing I want to concentrate on solving right now. So let's put this back to how it was. Okay, come on. There we go. And alright, so I'll stop that. Okay, I just want to give an example of the musical keys changing. I can do that better if I don't have the maximize on play setting. So unplay, so slow while I'm broadcasting. Already kind of slow in general, but extra slow while I'm broadcasting. That's too bad. I guess I could buy a really buffed up rig to handle it all, or do some kind of split thing where there's like all the broadcasting stuff is on a separate computer. One of these days I might do that. But it's not warranted right now, I would say. So let me get the place that handles the musical key change. Musical key. So it's been doing G minor. Let me just start it off with, I don't know, good old C major. And I'll hit play. So while it's spinning, so in this session there's an API that I want to explore that takes an uploaded file and analyzes sections of it to detect the musical key. So if I have some digital music that I add into this project, I could use a tool like this to perform an analysis and save the results. Okay, so now the musical key is changed. All the notes played are in the C major key. If I change the key to something else, C sharp major, plays a different set of notes. So this is designed so that every sound effect that's musical in nature, and I made a lot of musical sound effects, will play in key for the current music key. So walking up the steps, the notes chosen, they are all a part of a C sharp major chord. Okay, so that means if I was playing some music alongside of it that was also at that moment in the C sharp chord, it would harmonize with it. It would harmonize with it well, and it would feel like, as a player, perhaps, that you were contributing to the music. Okay, let's change the chord again. Here's a fun one. So that boom timpani noise is the sound that it makes when you land on the ground, when you fall. Okay. G major. Everything is in key. Everything. Every single thing.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
Just thinking about, I might want to do like one extra cue that the hands are the place where the sound is coming from. I'm not sure exactly what that cue will be. But I'm just, before I get too used to what I see as being the main default thing, I want to notice small problems, little misgivings I might have. Anyways, before this session, which I've already wasted 10 of my precious 60 minutes of, I'm going to look at this API. And I had previously done some research. In fact, I might be able to find that exact same extremely useful Stack Overflow page and show it to you. Okay, come on. I should unplay. When I'm playing, it makes a lot of things slow, along with that streaming thing. So, what was it? It was Stack Overflow, and it was detect key of music. I think this will get me there. Okay. So the reason I'm calling this out, I know that inside of Unity there is what I forget the term for it. It performs like a Fourier transform, Fourier, I guess, Fourier transform upon audio, and it generates a representation of all the frequencies that are there in the audio. That's built into Unity, a feature to do that. And so it made me optimistic that maybe I could just write my own code to find the key of music. And then I looked at this one guy's answer. Who is this guy? It is the Mandrill. That's not his real name, probably. But he wrote like the best response to this. And I believed him. And he said it's hard. He said it's quite hard. He said there's a lot of red herrings, or like you think you can do it, but you won't do it well. If you're playing a single tone at a time, it's not too hard. But if you have a whole bunch of stuff going on at one time, like any piece of music would have, really, it's possible, but it's really tricky. So it's the kind of thing that I could blow months on if I was just lucky, and years on if I was not. So with that in mind, I did some more research, and I found out that there is an API. There is an API, and I wrote down information about it that I'm looking up on my iPad so I can go right to it. It looked like exactly what I needed. I'm really hoping it is. I'm going to try to test it out inside of this session. On my iPad, I have several documents. I think I stored it in Sound System. Yes, I did. Okay, so this thing is called Sonic API.com. Okay. So add high quality music processing to your app with the SonicAPI.com web service. And I even looked at the pricing, and they price it by, this is not an advertisement for them, I promise. They price it by storage, not calls to the API, but storage. So I'll go ahead. I'll show you their live demo. So analyze key. That's exactly the tasks I need to do. So I go and look at analyze key, and they've got some input files. I can play one. Just to kind of a dreary song I don't much care for, but that's fine. So okay. The API that would get called, you'd pass in the same information that's here. Okay, in seconds. We'll say first 5 seconds. And you submit it. It uploads a file, it analyzes the file, it returns a response back, and this one says D flat minor. And that value is exactly what I want. So if I go back to here, I look, I don't have D flat minor, but I happen to know that C sharp minor is basically the same thing as D flat minor, because a sharp is going up. Oh, hiccups. It's going up half a note, and a flat is going down down half a note. So C sharp and D flat, for my purposes, are the same thing. There's an asterisk next to that, sharp versus flat. It does matter for certain instruments. But in terms of producing a note, without any nuance to whether you're going up or down on it, that's specific to an instrument, they're the same. Okay, goddamn hiccups, goddamn hiccups. That's my way of getting past the hiccups. So now I want to get started. Okay, so I might need to do some of this stuff off screen. Sign up for a free developer account. I want off screen so you can't see all the stuff I'm going to put in. If anyone is like listening to this and thinking, I gotta hack this, by the time you hack this, I will be done with it, sir. Your ability to affect me is gonna be pretty small here, at least on this thing. And like, if you want to do something more ambitious, dude, you can hack me. I'm not that advanced in my defenses. I'd rather you didn't. Why don't you go fuck with a bank, you know? Just pick somebody that really deserves it. I am assailable. I'm not unassailable. I am assailable. I'm a easy target. I try a little bit to not get hacked. I try a little bit, but honestly, I don't have time to do all the shit that we need to do to be proper protected. Okay, so I did send a request. I'm activating an account. Okay. So I'm logged in, and I don't want to show you like my private key. So I still have it off screen. So they're going to give me some kind of key that's private. It occurs to me like it's going to be hard to do this session and not show the private key. I don't know, these guys. So I'm glad I'm not using this on a web page, because they gave me an access ID. I guess it's the same problem with any API that you use that way. Okay, well, it doesn't matter, it's moot. So I'm going to put this key into a file that you can't see if you're watching the stream. Let me close this project. I guess so. Yeah, okay. Just give me some kind of dumb little editor, text edit, that's good. Alright, man, if I was doing this in a smarter way, I just would have gotten this part of it done off stream. But I'm not that smart today. Save my little super secret text file. Save it with Unicode UTF-8. And okay, this is good. In persistent storage location, Sonic API dot text. Okay, this won't be hard. I think this will not be hard. Okay. So, yeah. Let's close that. Let's close my script. You don't need to see that right now. Okay, and then let us open up the gesture editor again. I could create a brand new project to do this in, but this one has already got some stuff in it that's going to be useful. It's got persistent storage checks, it's got audio analysis checks, it's got good code in it to reuse. So I might as well just kind of consolidate inside of this other project, which was used for editing hand animations. Okay, so then let's go to just anything really. Open up the IDE. Resize it to fit inside of my broadcasting constraints. Okay, then let's go with let me just add. No, I guess I'll keep it all under here. So add a new folder. Music key. Add. This will just be like a little wrapper. So let's call this God Killer Music or Music Analysis. Okay, I'll call this Sonic API. So I'll just wrap Sonic API. Okay. So let's do I want to load in the API key or access ID. Application. Let's see, what did I just name that? Sonic API.text. God damn it. I just showed the stupid key. That's okay. That's okay. So here's what the key looks like. I'm going to immediately replace it. So I need to be careful not to select that key again with it showing, because then somebody can use it. So take that off of there. Create a new access key. Active. And the one that you just saw, I'm deleting. So if you got some big idea, you're gonna go spam that particular key. Just go get your own key. Just get your own key. I mean, it's free, and you would be like. Anyways, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work because I just replaced the key. Anyways, don't worry. There's going to be a better opportunity for you to hack me than that. I mean, that would be really one of the lamest ways to hack me. And it wouldn't work anyways. I just deleted that key. Okay. So load the key. That's going to be done with some simple file I/O. It's going to be like this. Read all text from the file path. That's it. That's the key right there. Okay. So now let me take a look at the docs for this baby. Docs. So I think I gotta upload a file. Actually, file uploads are not the easiest thing a lot of times to do with code. We'll see how Unity handles it. Okay, let's just before I get too far in this. Unity file upload. HTTP. Yeah, Unity HTTP upload file. So what? Yeah, what kind of request is this? Okay, so they're saying curl file. Okay, it's going to do a my multi-part form data post request. That's cool. So sending a form to an HTTP server. This is how it would be done. Unity web request post the URL, a list with the multi-part, although I'm only going to have to send one. So is this might be a full path. This might not be too bad. Okay. I would be real impressed with myself if I get just the file upload thing done in this session. I would be very impressed. And because of the fucking coroutines, it means that this has to be a mono behavior. That's annoying to me. Okay, so let's make this a singleton as well. This can be private, actually. Private string load key. Public Sonic API. Say if I'll use their terminology. Access ID. Can never decide if I want to do I lowercase d or I uppercase d. I'm going to go lowercase. Okay. And then let's set the singleton. Might as well make this static. Private static. Singleton. Gee. So this, I could do more like singleton. Get the singleton like that. So public property. Whatever. Fiddling with something that doesn't matter. Just put it back how I had it. That suffices. This is one good thing about streams is I tend not to do self-indulgent things while people are on the stream. Kamikaze Toy. I was worried you were bummed out by my review of your game last session. I'm telling you that there's something there, though. There's something there. I don't know if it was the thing you meant to be there, but there's something there. Alright, so then... let's see if I can upload a file with their API. It's good. It's good. At the beginning of the session, I demoed the hand animations working inside of the game. And here I'm moving on to like a quick little thing. I'm seeing if I can get it done before 6:15ish because I gotta run off for another dinner. I'm trying to use a third-party API to analyze music. So let's see. This will be static numerator upload file. Let's do string file path. Numerator comes from collections, I believe. Yes. Okay, where does I multi-part form section come from? Unity Engine Networking, I believe. Probably also gonna need all this stuff, so let's just go. Oh, okay. That got rid of all the red squigglies. Okay, so what do I actually need to send here? Taking a look at the code from the API. Okay. So they're going to send this in the query string. Let me just copy that over. The hands, they're like these floating hands in the game world, and when the character of God talks, the hands like they kind of like dance around and have gestures that go along with him speaking. They look good, I think. They look good. Worked how I thought it would work. Let's see. So then go to field. Okay. So this is going to be API Sonic file upload access ID equals. There we go. Here, I'll encapsulate this a little bit better. API URL. I suppose. Let's call this API base. Yeah, I would demo it for you, but I'd have to load up the other project again. I'm like in a different project, but yeah, well, like one of these days I'll show it while you're on, or you can. I suppose you could go back and check out the beginning of the video, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Access ID. Okay, so that gives me that. Thinking about this multi-part. I don't need the form data section. I don't need that. I do need the file. Let's call it file. Let's have this be file path. Okay, let me make sure I understand. Up? Oh, you have my game backed up. Yeah. So I do a couple things. I've got Git running locally, which sort of lets me at least locally go back to earlier versions if I screw something up. So that's kind of like a time machine functionality. And then I've got all of my file system on Dropbox, so it's mirrored to Dropbox, and that also mirrors to other devices like laptops and stuff. So it's pretty good. It's not industrial strength, but it's gonna work for me. Okay, so there's that. I also want to know about this multi-part form file section. I want to know what's expected for that. Turns a string to new. Okay. Yeah. So it appears to me that this file name is not actually going to load anything on its own. So I need to have more here. This actually is just the file name. Like it's informational, but it's not the data itself. It doesn't imply like a load of data. So let me see how I would upload that actual data. I think I'm gonna have to do section data for that. Wouldn't mind seeing some example code and doing that. Unity upload file to server. Yeah. That's cool, but I'm just like using a whole different API, and I think it's probably out of date. using the www. That's been deprecated. Here. Just double check this again. Attaches a download handler buffer. Okay, I don't need that. Pre-formatted form data stored in standard upload handler raw object is then attached to the Unity web request. I don't get it though. So I'm looking at the same code that I copied over. Thinking for the theme of my game, it's theme is pretty set. It is like another afterlife. It's a world that this person goes to who's she's born into it, and then she gets into a conflict with the god of the universe and fights against the god. I guess you'd call it fantasy theme. Thanks. Oh, what's this? Start coroutine upload. Well, no, that would just call this function. Okay, that's the old way of doing it. This is the same thing I was looking at. Form data. I feel like this is an incomplete example. Read this one more time. Pre-formatted form data is stored as in a standard upload handler raw object, which is then attached to the Unity web request. Let me look at that. Unity. Yeah, I knew it was going to be more complicated. Every time I handle this uploading a file task in a different language or environment, I've done it in like probably 4 or 5 places now in my life. It's always a pain in the ass. There's no code that shows how to use it or how to attach it to the web request. I saw nothing about that. Okay, come on. Let's see some real code. Let's see some code. Something else. Put this here. Um, yeah. So, a more general term for either methods or properties would be members. And when you see like, I'm gonna put it in the chat window. Method, when it has like the parentheses around left and right like that, then that's a method. It's like a bit of code that you call to execute. And whereas if it's like that, like that, it's either no, it's interpreting my commands as here. So anyways, yeah. So when it's got parentheses around it, it's a method. Otherwise, you could call it a property if it is honestly a property, or you could call it a member, I guess. This is using the old one again. So that would be using the deprecated API. Let me see if I can do Unity upload file to server, and then I will call out the thing I want help with. No. You mean like, so like multi-part form section, for example? I guess that's an interface. So I didn't really know what it was called. I had to look it up. Now, I have used multi-part forms a number of times in the past, but I didn't know it would be called that inside of Unity. Oh, it's just naming conventions. Yeah. Okay, let's... Form data. Okay, here's like a different way that this person called it. Files 0 replace. Okay. Okay. So it's not that I really want to copy this and use it that way. Well, so here's the thing with naming conventions. Like if you get them wrong, the code usually still works. It's just, I mean, they're just they're not built into the language. So like for example, here's an example of a naming convention. In C#, people expect you to capitalize the first letter of a method. It says naming rule violation. These words must begin with uppercase characters, get singleton. But it's just a stylistic guide. Like I can build this, it'll work. I just have a little warning that appears inside the IDE. So if you get like a good IDE that will show you like little warning messages around those things, it's good for learning the naming conventions. Okay, so then this part here. So it's got some overrides. Let me see what they are. I could just pass the data. That might be a nice way to do it. File name and data, string data. You can use data encoding if I want. Content type, I could pass what's called a MIME type, which would say this is a WAV file. But I didn't see many requirements from the API I'm calling to do much there, so I'm going to do like the very simplest one. At least I'll start with that. So I'll load the bytes, WAV bytes. Bytes equals let's see. All right, let's call this okay, so that file path, that will tell me where it's at. So I go path, combine, application, persistent data path, and then actually I don't need to do that because I already have that. So I want file read all bytes. That'll give me my bytes. I add that section, post to the API. So then, just to make this a little bit easier, I'll do public static string wave file path. And then I'll do public static pool upload now. Okay. To Windows. Okay. And oh, okay. What do I call it? Let's call this music file path. Okay. Music file path. Okay. And that would be really cool if this worked the first time, but I really don't expect it to. Okay, so let's put a breakpoint there. And here. Okay. And I'm gonna need some music. Drud public domain music. Must include Drud. Let's see. Drud. Okay. Drive AE music download. Okay. Actually, I'll just check this. I'm going to find some music that I wrote a long time ago that got put in the public domain. Yeah, I don't know. That might be too much work. Okay, public domain music. And then wave. If I was not on a stream that I wanted to redistribute, I would just what is this? Free PD, 100% music. Okay, download waves. No, just come on. Just any song that's in the public domain. Wave download. You know what? I have some music. I have some music that is not public domain, but I did license it for my own use, and I can definitely put it on this stream. Music. Let's see, what do we think? Vikings Pillage? No, I want something a little more clearly melodic. I have made good music in the past. I'm not very prolific. I made music that people actually paid money to buy. But I've not done much lately, so I don't like to brag. Just trying to find something that... That's good. That's good right there. Okay. So open this inside of Audition. I'll convert it to a WAV format. Well, so making music, I'm not an expert in it. I'm really not. But I don't know. There's some different approaches. One is you go crazy with the loops. You get a whole bunch of loops, and then you just kind of like put them together like Legos. They're just like little reusable bits of music. Somebody kind of did all the work to make it sound kind of right to begin with. So if you do like a search for loops, you can get a whole bunch. There's like classifications, like a musical key in tempo. And you can sort of put them together more easily if the things that you get match. Let me save this. The more purist way of going about it would be getting something like GarageBand, which if you're like an iOS person, it's pretty easy to get that. And just fiddling around with it, making individual notes. but it's much harder to start from there and get to a place where you're making like music that actually sounds like something you like. So let's call this new folder will be music. Wait, did you make the music in your game? Oh, you didn't tell me that. All right. So was that like how many songs have you written? A squeaky thing in common, huh? Well, I mean, you're further along than like say like I don't know. Did you like play what software do you use to make the notes and everything? Okay, so this is gonna be this Bosco Shield. I've never. Well, I mean, there's a lot of software out there I haven't heard of, but I haven't heard of that one. Okay, so that's the WAV file. Then if I go over to Unity, it's compiling that code I just wrote. Then let's create a new game object for music. Add a component. API. Oh, hasn't compiled yet, apparently. I thought it would have. Run, start debugging. Okay, errors. Access ID. So why are you complaining about the access ID? Access ID. Oh, I just have this little thing here in the end. Okay. Run. Start debugging. Try again. Okay. That's good. Then I come back to here. My new Sonic API thing there. Now I thought I had some public members. Okay, it should not be static. That's what. Okay. Then the music file path. Easiest way to do this is to just copy the path. Okay. I say that like it's an easy thing, but it's not that easy. Let's do this. Call this music file name. Okay, file path. Like that. Try that. Okay. Set a breakpoint there too. Cool. Okay, song.wav. Okay, file path. That should be fine. Okay, it's the wave bytes. Is access ID null? Okay, it is. So this is going to fail. But do I have wave bytes? I do. Cool. Okay. So this is a long upload, right? It's in the background, uploading a whole friggin' file. Okay, if I do this again with a lot of requests, I'll want to get a smaller file to upload. Okay, so I should get a network error. It's actually pretty encouraging. 500 internal error. There's probably a response somewhere. Response code 500 should be like a response body. But I already kind of know what the error is going to be because my access ID was null. I already kind of know. So let me just hit play on this. Let it fail. Okay. Yeah, let me double check. I have to do this off screen so I don't reveal my access ID and have to reset it again. Okay. I think I just had the file named wrong. Maybe. I hate Apple hiding the extension on files. Okay. I've got one more try on this before I gotta stop the session. So I'm gonna see if I can get this bug fixed. Okay, set that there. What are you complaining about? This can be static. All right, let us try it again. And if it doesn't work, I don't have time to try it again. This has got to be it. Okay. Bam. Bam. And then I don't want to reveal the access ID on stream, so I'm going to move the debugger off for just a moment. Let's see, is it going to load the access ID appropriately? So the file path looks right to me. Returned something, I hope. Yes, okay. So now, bring this back. And I'll just hit play. It's uploading that whole WAV file off to this Sonic API server, and I'm waiting for it to come back from this web request. It's asynchronously uploading right now. There we go. Is it a network error? Oh, it's still erroring. Is it the same? It's still 500. I don't know. I ran out of time to diagnose it. So it's very unsatisfying, but I gotta stop the stream. I gotta stop it because my friggin' parents are in town, and we're gonna get some steak. And I promised I would be there at 7. Kamikaze Toy, thank you for your company. You too. Good luck with the game. Good luck with the music. I'll see you.